As a Democratic whip?
Are we in a quorum call?
Here we are.
Ask unanimous consent to be suspended.
Without objection.
Mr. President, over the weekend, while most of the country slept, a gunman targeted 2 Minnesota state legislators in their homes.
Hello, Patriots, and welcome back to the Constitution Corner. If you're passionate about defending American values, protecting our freedoms, and holding our leaders accountable, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to stay informed and engaged. Now, let's dive into a deeply troubling event that has shaken the very foundation of our democracy.
He pretended to be a police officer, and he gunned down Democratic state legislator John Hoffman and his wife. Fortunately, they survived and are recovering from surgery and reportedly in stable condition. We pray for State Senator Hoffman and his wife's full recovery. Then the gunman attacked another Democratic state legislator with over 20 years of service, Minnesota Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark. She and her husband leave behind 2 children. These killings are not only horrifying for Minnesota, but a tragedy for America. This heinous act of political violence defies American values and democracy. Unfortunately, we've seen a disturbing increase in political violence in recent years, seemingly as part of a misguided and sickening attempt to strike fear and intimidation in the hearts of the American people and those who are engaged in public service. Violence and hate have no place in America. Leaders on both sides of the aisle must speak out and condemn these violent acts. I've said this repeatedly, it bears repeating. Political violence from the right or the left is never, never acceptable and is never the answer. We must condemn these violent acts when they happen, but we also must speak out against the radical language we see online and even language coming from our colleagues. One member of this body tweeted a picture of the Minnesota shooter and wrote, "This is what happens when Marxists don't get their way." End of quote. He tweeted another picture of the shooter and wrote, "Nightmare on Waltz Street," apparently an attempt to blame Minnesota Governor Tim Walz for the shooting. Another one of my colleagues from the other side of the aisle tweeted around the shooting, quote, "The degree to which the extreme left has become radical, violent, and intolerant is stunning and terrifying." To attempt to politicize this tragedy is absolutely unacceptable. This rhetoric from elected officials is beyond dangerous and incites even more violence. It is reprehensible and it must be called out on both sides of the aisle. Both sides of the aisle. Because in the land of the free and the home of the brave, everyone should feel expressing their political views, and we must never do so in a way that condones violence or intimidation. I pray for Minnesota during this heartbreaking time and vow to continue to denounce and combat political violence of any kind.
Over the weekend, while most of the country slept, a heinous act of political violence unfolded in Minnesota. A gunman, later identified as 57-year-old Vance Luther Bolter, targeted 2 Democratic state legislators in their homes. He posed as a police officer and opened fire on State Senator John Hoffman and his wife, Yvette. Miraculously, they survived and are reportedly in stable condition. Tragically, the gunman then proceeded to assassinate former Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband, Mark, in their Brooklyn Park residence. Their 2 children are now left to cope with the unimaginable loss of both parents. This isn't just a local tragedy, it's a national crisis. Political violence, regardless of the perpetrator's ideology, is an attack on the very principles that make America exceptional. It's a direct assault on our Constitution, our right to free speech, and our democratic process. And yet, some are already attempting to politicize this tragedy, using it to push their own agendas. One such example is a tweet from a member of Congress who posted a picture of the shooter with the caption, "This is what happens when Marxists don't get their way." Another colleague tweeted, "The degree to which the extreme left has become radical, violent, and intolerant is stunning and terrifying." While it's crucial to condemn political violence from all sides, it's equally important to recognize when certain rhetoric may be fueling division and animosity. As conservatives, we must stand firm in our commitment to upholding the Constitution. This means defending the right to free speech, even when we disagree with the message. It means ensuring that our leaders are held accountable for their words and actions. And it means rejecting any form of violence or intimidation, regardless of the political affiliation of those involved. The Minnesota shootings serve as a stark reminder that our nation is at a crossroads. We can choose to continue down a path of division and hostility, or we can come together to reaffirm our shared values and principles. It's time to put America first, to prioritize the safety and well-being of our citizens, and to restore faith in our democratic institutions. Thank you for tuning in to the Constitution Corner. If you believe in defending our Constitution and holding our leaders accountable, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Together, we can ensure that America remains the land of the free and the home of the brave. We are the Constitution Corner, where Americans' root guides its future. Until next time, stand strong, speak truth, and may God bless the United States of America.